Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Advanced Wars Daisy Rune Tiny Wars replay. So on the bottom left side is the blue, the Fanatic. We have Jim Lahey. Lahey? I have no idea. As well on the top right side is the green GreyfieldGuy. We have Greyfield. When it comes to these COs, GreyfieldGuy has reduced boarding costs compared to from the cartridge counterpart. 30%, 3, 30, 60, 60. All units get plus 10 plus 10. Naval units, seaplanes, battlecopters, and SEAL Zone get additional plus 10% offense, plus 40% defense. Totaling plus 50% offense for his battlecopters. That's Whalen level's defense, so Whalen or Greyfield's actually a pretty good alternative to Whalen if you want sort of the Whalen day-to-day benefits. Though, it does of course affect the bombers and fighters and dusters, but battlecopters is still your primary unit, and of course you have a bit more accessible seaplanes. Additionally, for superpower, of course, it does apply plus 10% globally. All fuel, ammo, and materials now gets recovered as well. Of course, provide plus 10 plus 40% global. Temporary airports and temporary seaports can deploy unweighted units, including seaplanes. So you can get a nice little ambush spawn there. Great for battlecopters. Generally, you want to go for battlecopters and seaplanes, because seaplanes are very fun. And it's a handful of shores on this map, so we could see some stupid ambush spawn battleships? Probably not a good idea, honestly. But it is a possibility. You can also get an ambush spawn submarine. Won't be yellow though. Wait a second. There will be no way to stop a to sink a ambush spawn submarine, since it will come out submerged, or you can always immediately submerge it. There's literally nothing your opponent can do to displace this except be permanently stuck on top of a temporary seaport. Is that useful? No. But is it something you can do? Yes. Either way, when it comes to the Fanatic was, of course, technically a custom CO, while he's technically a character in the game, a Calder wearing an edgy overcoat, and has sort of like Davis. Has standard border cost, 3 radius, 36 60. All units get additional 10 plus 10 offense, plus 20% defense. All units in your SEAL Zone who have not at max health gets plus 10 offense, plus 10% defense as well. For superpower, all units get plus 10, plus 20. All units get with less gets plus less than 10% get plus 10, plus 10. Inflicts. Wait, oh no, the Fanatic's been actually reworked, hasn't he? This is something new. Inflicts the Plague State on all own units for 3 turns. Inflict the Plague State on all enemy units for 2 turns. I'm guessing so it ends on the same turn. The Plague status inflicts 1 damage on units, can be lethal at the end of each turn. Oh, and prevents them from executing join command. Okay, that is different. Last time you cast Fanatic, his superpower did 1 damage to your own units global, gives you a refund for said damage, and then also the scaling for the increase was increased when their health was lower. But this is something entirely different. This is something new, so let's go ahead and get started. More infantry. Not big surprise, it's literally turn 1. What am I thinking? My brains are melted. Do I have a drink nearby? In the early capturing phase, so I won't be missing much. Just give me a moment. Sorry, getting a little bit thirsty, but not like I'm missing much. It's the early capturing phase. The Plague affects your opponent 1 less turn than your own, which is interesting. Because I go back here. Go away, Greyfield. On all your own units for 3 turns, so you take 1 extra point of damage. That's interesting. Not sure how to feel about that. Because this is a superpower. It is interesting that prevents a joining command. I wonder if repairs would clear the plague state. If that does clear a plague state, that would be interesting. We got a rig now deployed in the field. And maybe a supply action from APCs could be like a medic action as well. Just possibilities. If your opponent could actually use a medic, or something like as a rig as a medic to help counteract it, then what? Greyfield loaded himself up to a rig. I have no idea. But if you, then I can see it justify that you can make the turns last even a little bit longer. I have, because right now 2 points of damage onto your opponent's units, or your units take 3 points of damage, so you're at a bit more of a disadvantage from that. It does not provide you a refund. So I just don't know. But if it would make it, say, last maybe a little bit longer, but your opponent has actions they can do to counteract it, that could be an interesting way to, so you can make the superpower a bit more powerful. It allows a bit more counterplay, though. I just don't know. Just ideas. Tank, mech, and infantry. You have artillery. This map is a 3-base map, one airport on the weak side. On the weak side as well, you got a lot of defendable terrain to utilize, primarily for artillery. Greyfield has quite a bit of fun stored on up, has, well then again, 18,000 income, 16,000 fund money, it's not too great. I'm sort of losing track of how many turns have passed. It is starting to pull out a temporary airport there. I don't know why Greyfield loaded himself into a rig. Yeah, I have no idea. One temporary airport against the Fanatic would make sense if you have to worry about the plague status. Tank, flare, tank. I just don't, still really don't comprehend why you load himself into a rig. Oh well. I mean, throwing a rig will make sense because of Greyfield, but loading himself up, I mean, might as well just load yourself up to a flare. Even an infantry unit may work a little bit better than that. Up to 17 energy at the moment versus 13. Artillery could get some power charge going by shelling it. Both players went for artillery on the weak side. Resupplies there. Now the artillery's in range. Get some energy. Capture. Join capture. And remember as well, temporary airports are hiding spots. Hiding spots for air and ground. So this artillery is nice and hidden. Battle covered by Greyfield, which can get up to plus 50% defense being his own aura. The Fanatic's at 17 energy, Greyfield Guy's at 20. Interior mech. Maybe don't need to go for interior on this side since that's where his airport is. Plus there's a battle copter there as well. Greyfield Guy could have pushed forward his APC forward to get some power charge going. The Fanatic got up to 32. Pulls back the rig either way. Gain power charge will be very nice. If his opponent pushes too forward on a flank where there's a temporary airport, he can simply pop his superpower and ambush spawn for a whole bunch of aircraft with decent defense. The Fanatic's at 25,000 incomes. Don't worry about that. The Fanatic's already at 54 energy. He's getting some great power charge. Tank, flare, recon, or bike, and battlecopter. Takes the power charge there. 51 energy. He's pretty close to his own superpower, so he likely will be able to pull out superpower next turn. Those units should not be affected by the plague status. I'm guessing freshly spawned units are not affected by plague. We do now have the missile here. The missile knows where it's at. For knows where it's not, rocket, mech, and artillery. Could have saved some money there to go for a more powerful superpower. Fanatic just needs 5 more energy. There's a lot of targets in front of him, which he is not look like he's going to try to pull out this turn just yet. Oh, he does pop it. One damn plague infected global. Looks like there's a little green icon, spore icon there. GreyfieldGuy has 54 energy. He'll have, I don't know how much after repairs. We'll just see if okay, the resupply actions does not remove the plague aspect. You also can see a little green icon down here as well if you have trouble on the map. And there you go. He has superpower. We'll be going for it. Does pop the superpower. Has potential ambush spawns of all these assets, including the seaplane. But I think battlecopters would be better at this moment in time. It's a cheaper option. If he doesn't join, he may be able to squeeze another battlecopter. Without battlecopter, no plague aspect on it, just the S. Double ambush spawn battlecopter. Need 4,900 in return, so we can go for triple infantry afterwards. Very nice. Decides to go for single bike and infantry. Greyfield just took 1 damage global. Maybe one thing to help out with the whole plague aspect is if the Fanatic has all units in the CO zone or inflicted with plague, we'll get the plus 10 plus 10. That could be interesting if it has either aspect. So his subsequent turns where his unit starts to get weakened will also retain some strength. Just ideas. I wonder. Okay, the unit that got inside the rig there retains plague. You can see here. Good to know. Of course, his rig here has his material stored, but of course a little bit wounded, so I have to take an extra turn to build the temporary airport and of course temporary seaport. Oh, something exploded. Artillery, infantry, and missile. I don't think he really needs a missile down here. That's his side, his one side that doesn't have missile or an airport. So that was definitely a bad call in my opinion. This missile's now in range of this battlecopter, as well as this one here. Of course, the plague has subsided in Greyfield. The Fanatic will have one more turn of plague applied to him. Another unit went down there. Probably units that died from plague. That's probably what's happened. Battlecopter stays alive. Plague is no longer affected yet. Has 1% health, so next time something attacks it, it will go down. Greyfield's at 53 energy, so he's not been able to reutilize this piece of material just yet, so he's had to leave this one for ambush spawns. It's a battlecopter there. Fanatic right now is at 13 energy, hits another battlecopter, hits another battlecopter. Flare, anti-air, anti-air. Greyfield now has enough for another superpower. Only one temporary report still. His rocket did take a fair hit. Fanatic's at 49 energy as well. And now there's enough targets in front of him to get his superpower without needing to push forward. That may have been an oversight there. Though then again, he probably didn't see the CO unit, so he did not see the CO zone. You have to click on the units individually, see the plus stats to see how much they get affected. Decides not to get the power charge there for his CO power. Bike, tank, and battlecopter. Tank, infantry. Good damage there. Tank, and artillery. Greyfield has a superpower. Post is not pulling out superpower this turn. He could save some money and decide to get a stronger superpower going. Maybe good idea to go for a temporary report somewhere back here, nice and safe. They is starting to deploy right there. Very forward, which could be very strong. Can't go too far forward, else he may get knocked out. Wounded will also delay deploy the temporary report, but may immediately pop the superpower. The Fanatic may be eyeing to hold off before deploying out Plague until he sees his opponent deploys that superpower to hit a lot of stuff. The missile here can claim another kill. We've got another rocket battlecopter. Takes the battlecopter there. It's a tank. The Fanatic's at 57 energy. Rocket deployed on field. Rocket and flare. Temporary report has been hit. Anti-tank getting hit twice. Pops a superpower. The temporary report has been built, so we can see some ambush spawn battlecopters. He is pushing forward over here. He can also go for some ambush spawn battlecopters over here, but he only has enough money, not for 3, but just for 2. Does get trapped a couple times. Rocket and missile are down here. Of course, the missile was still a better call. The rocket's in range, but lacking better frontline there. So he probably needs to get out some battlecopters down south. Pops his own superpower down now. Gets some good shots. Takes out the anti-air. Flip a property there. Hits that unit there. This unit will go down to Plague. It's at 4% health. That unit can go down the plague as well. Might as well sack the unit. Battlecopter, charge way forward. Needs some stuff down south. Seaplane. A lot of anti-airs over here though. Sure, it has plus 50% defense, which is nice and all. But anti-airs are in range. And Fanatic has pushed forward with a CO unit there. Yeah, the seaplane was not a good call, I would say. This unit will die at the end of the turn. This one will likely sack these units. They're not like they're going to do much. Not great shot there. That's probably the best shot though it could get. Just sack this. It's going to do nothing. Three units exploded, like I said. Moves back the seaplane there. A rocket fired away. Maybe that was a wrong rocket to attack with, because this one is... Oh, no, it was out of range either way. Need to tank down south, help move the line. Battlecopter gets back on the temporary airport. Of course, his opponent's Plague has decided. The Fanatic will have one last turn of Plague. Bike, and Battlecopter. Some exploded there, probably due to Plague. Plague's caused explosion. Who would have thunk? Seaplane gets a good shot there, takes out the command tank. Gets trapped there. This one has 8% health, so the heavy infantry will simply not be strong enough. And letting stay alive due to Plague will not necessarily work. Tank infantry. Has a comm tower down here as well. Has 5 more capture progress remaining, so needs to stop it this turn, or interrupt it at least. Some good shots over there. It's the rocket. Takes another battlecopter there. More hits there. Greyfield's almost enough for another superpower. Quite frankly, save turns worth of money for this temporary report wouldn't be half bad. Of course, he needs to get enough power charge to get the idea. It does go for... Nope, only 950. Does commit double space skip. Doesn't save any monies, though. It's the missile. Anti-tank down south is taking some hits. Lots of hits. Right now, the Fanatic has 24,000. Grave has 25,000. The determined property is not the center one. So Greyfield has 2 properties somewhere that this one does not have. This one's probably one of them. Good shots there. Does enter the range of the anti-air. Tank artillery, commit space skip. 49 energy right now, sword on up. Trying to go for another temporary airport right here. 12 build progress remaining. Tank, medium tank, and anti-air. the battlecopter there. Greyfield has enough for a little superpower, which you gotta deploy it now. Does deploy it there. He needs reinforcements over here. Deploys out a battlecopter north though. Ambush battlecopter here, and that's all the rest of his monies. Does take up that artillery. $110 versus 130 for day-to-day, so they're still pretty even between the two. Both sides are losing their weak flank quite hard. Good shot there onto the battlecopter, but thanks to extra defense, did manage to survive. ATR tank. Does nerf the capture there. It's that tank. It's the battlecopter. Did not sweep past the city there, so does not spot the rocket. Oversight there. Could have done a little bit better pathing. Tank, mech, and battlecopter. Let's go for another anti-air. Join captures there. Does get trapped by the full health infantry unit there. Greyfield's at 0 energy at the moment. The Fanatics at 21 energies. Does enjoy the capture there. It's the battle artillery as well. Right now, the Fanatic has 26,000 income versus 23 in tank, anti-air, and commits base skip once again. Takes the battlecopter there. Artillery, a rocket, and bike. Unable to join capture the infantry unit on top of the comm tower. No nearby infantry units. In fact, that is the only infantry unit on the entire map. Looks like Greyfield sending his rig down south. Rockets a strike there. Sending up the infantry to strike the comm tower to help stop the capture. It has 4 capture rockets remaining. Does spot the infantry unit there. Shells with the artillery. You can still wait a turn for the comm tower. Next turn will be 1 capture progress remaining, so the rocket can take time to strike the tank in front of it. The rocket is down to 1 shot, so it has to pick its target wisely. Sacks infantry unit there. Does not take out the unit there. Takes out the unit capturing the comm tower. He may need to get out of rig here to resupply the rocket. 6,000 funds remaining. Though his superpower can resupply it, but he has 0 energy. I forgot about that aspect. Recon infantry. So the rocket next turn will need to fall back to the city to get resupply. Primary for ammo rather than for health. Well, if tanks does spot a whole bunch of stuff there. And the Fanatic has his superpower available. He can pop it. Decides not to pop it this turn. Does take out the units capturing. Another anti-tank, battlecopter infantry, and the rocket does fall back to that city. Anti-tank does get struck by some artillery. Pops the superpower, so this rocket will bleed to death there. Picks up the anti-tank. I mentioned this mech will also go down. Has 19 capture progress remaining. I don't believe in you, because you can't be joint captured. Okay, so the rocket there. Didn't need to do that, it was basically already a dead man. And a 2 health rocket and 1 health rocket won't really do too much damage. Could have retargets to something else. Hits a missile. Nope, stuff explodes. Does not think of that anti-air there. Down to 1% health. Greyfield. Oh, and Greyfield does actually resign there. This Angrade saying, "Thanks for watching," and on to next replay.